वंशी विभूषितकरान् नवनीरदाभात् पीताम्बरा दरुणबिम्बफलाधरोष्ठात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। न गुरोरधिकं तत्त्वं न गुरोरधिकं तपः तत्त्वज्ञानात् परं नास्ति तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। Divine souls, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. We are going through Bhakti Yoga, Yoga of Devotion. So far we have covered up to Mantra 5. You all know that from 6 to 11, Bhagavan goes deep into the practice of devotion, how to practice devotion. This practical way of going through the process of devotion has been extensively given in these verses from 6 to 11. But then what is devotion? What we understand by bhakti? Bhakti kya hai? Last week I had gone with you 9 kinds of bhakti, Navadha bhakti, which was told in Satyayuga by Prahlad to his father, and in Treta Yuga by Lord Bhagavan himself to Ma Sabri. We also went through the 2 categories of bhakti, Apara bhakti, the lower one, and Para bhakti, the higher one. We understand that the lower bhakti is further divided into 2 categories. One is Guna bhakti and other is Mukhya bhakti. Guna bhakti is associated with Rajasic guna, Artha, Jigyasu and Arthati, and Mukhya bhakti is associated with Sato guna, Sattva guna. But then beyond these guna, there is another level of bhakti which is called Para bhakti, and that is beyond the gunatit. We went through that. But then there are other kinds of bhakti as well. Just for the sake of, you will encounter all these things in Shastras here and there. There is what is called Sakama bhakti, which is all well known. A vast majority of humanity belonging to any religion, each and every religion, there are people who go to the temple, churches, mosques with hope to gain something, to satisfy the emotion, to gain material, something from material world. That is Sakama bhakti, selfish motive. But then there will be many who will also go and perform bhakti without asking for anything. You know, as Maharaj has just talked about, there are many people who go and perform ritual worship every day. They may not have at that time, in everyday affair, to ask for something. May not, but that's just routine way they have within them to perform devotional work, and they carry on devotional duties without asking for any particular gain or for material object. But then there are what we call Vaidhi bhakti. That means there are customs in society which they carry on with religious flavor. There is this Vyavacharani bhakti, that means putting foot on two boats. Sometimes Bhagwan, you pray Bhagwan and do all devotional work for Bhagwan, and then other time you look after the family and possessions and all those. That is Vyavacharani bhakti. But then there is another kind of bhakti, which is called Avyavacharani bhakti. Unswavering devotion, always devoted to Bhagwan and Bhagwan only. Not that they discard the family, but attention is primarily or mainly loving God all the time. That is Avyavacharani bhakti. This Avyavacharani bhakti is what is called Parabhakti. They are the same. And in Gita, Bhagwan has told us in verse 26, chapter 14, he says, Mam chayo vyavacharena bhakti yogena sevate sa gunana samti te chan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. What a beautiful verse. What Bhagwan is saying, that if you have put yourself entirely on the feet of Lord, surrender yourself, unswavering devotion to Him, what will happen? Your three gunas will be transcended. You will go, those who go through karma yoga, they first go and practice to get rid of the gunas, and they attain this. On the other hand, those who go through devotion, their gunas are discarded. What happens to that? They become Brahma Bhuya. That means they become same as Brahma. They get fully absorbed, become one with Brahma. Full realization, Advaita Bhav, there is no two. Both Bhakt और भगवान एक हो जाते हैं. That is the state of situation, state of affair when one is in Parabhakti. That is highest level of devotion where there is no two, Bhakt or Bhagwan ek. Now, this is the Parabhakti where one attains what is called immediate experience. There is a difference between what is called immediate experience and a mediate experience. So there is an immediate experience. You don't have to think what is there in front of you. That is immediate. For example, if Guru Maharaj comes in front of you, do you think? No, you fall at his feet straight away. Without thinking, you fall at his feet. Because that impression is already there in your mind. Fully you are absorbed with that knowledge that he is what? He is our Guru. He is Brahma. He is Bhagwan. And you fall down. That experience, what is called immediate experience, is a different situation. You do not think about him. But then there is another kind of experience which we all go through. That is through the medium. You involve your senses, your mind and intellect. You have the contact of your senses with the sense object. Your mind then analyzes the result of the contact. Intellect gives approval or disapproval, and then you have the experience. This experience is what is called mediate experience. When you practice devotion, to start with, you need to have this kind of meditation, and you progress gradually. As you progress, you come to a situation which is called immediate experience. There is a constant presence of that. Nothing other than that. Ananya bhava comes in there. You are totally identified with that. That is the state of Tat Tvam Asi. Now, this Avyavacharani Bhakti, often when we talk of Tat Tvam Asi, the idea comes of Vedantic following. You think of Vedantic meditation, you think the Vedantic philosophy, Sarvanam, Maranam, Nidhyasanam, through the path of Jnana Yoga. But this is important to realize that this state of affair can also come through the path of devotion. And how one can get into this path of spiritual absorption through path of devotion has been explained in great detail in Shastras, and commentators have written about this. Madhusudan Saraswati, he talks of what is called Anubhava Rupam. What is this Anubhava Rupam? Anu means continuous. And this Anubhava is becoming. You become continuously absorbed into it. This is Anubhava Rupam. That means it's oneness. There's no two. This is through process of Parabhakti, through Avyavacharani Bhakti, sadhaka or bhakta comes to that stage where he is totally absorbed in Bhagavan, becomes one. Continuous becoming is Anubhava. That is Anubhava Rupam, has been explained by Madhusudan Saraswati. Swami Tejomayanand, in his book Dhyana Swarupam, he talks of effortless awareness. When you are having the awareness of Brahma, it is effortless. I'm sure in our congregation there are number of souls, divine souls, who have been practicing meditation and would have experienced. Suddenly you get a realization. Suddenly you get a kind of experience, cannot explain it. And you feel happy within yourself. For no rhyme or reason, you may start to laugh. For no rhyme or reason, you start to feel elated. That is what is called Dhyana Swarupam. Effortless. You don't have to bring any effort in it. When I say effortless, there are stages where effort is required. And that requirement of effort is essential too. Because if you progress gradually, you put in effort in your bhakti, that's apara bhakti. Gurudev has talked about, you go to temple, must go to temple, pluck flower, put kirtan karo, bhajan karo, फूल चढ़ाओ, अर्चना करो, जरूर करो. And those practices which you bring in your life, in early life, it have a very lasting effect on your antaratma. And that develops. Virtually, you don't have much effort to put in there. So it becomes slowly effortless. So effort is there to start with, that is apara bhakti. But then when you come to para bhakti, in that state, effort is not that. It becomes effortless. Don't ever think about it. You immediately feel elated. You feel happiness. You feel unexplained. You cannot explain. Swami Basanta Tulsidas, he talks about Swarupa Bodha. Same thing. As you are talking of Anubhava Rupam, You're talking of Dhyana Swarupam. Sant Tulsidas calls it Swarupa Bodha. And look at the beautiful chaupai he has put in here. He says, Mama Darasan Hal Param Anupa Jiva Pavanij Sahasa Swarupa Mama Darasan Phal. तुलसीदास कहते हैं कि भगवान राम कहते हैं, क्यों कह रहे हैं, सबरी को कह रहे हैं, आई विल कम इन ए मिनट। मम दर्शन फल, मेरे दर्शन से जो फल मिलता है वो परम अनुपा, परम सुप्रीम हाईएस्ट लेवल दर्शन से ही। और हो क्या जाता है, जीव पावनि जस स्वरूपा, जीव जो है क्या पाता है, निज स्वरूपा। निज स्वरूप क्या है, ब्रह्म। ब्रह्म परमात्मा अपना स्वरूप है। ये जीव उस स्वरूप को पा लेता है। और कैसे पा लेता है, सहज। That is beautiful word. Let me take you there. When we talk of sahaja, then it is a stage beyond the 8th stage which Patanjali Yoga Shastra talks about, dharana, dhyan, samadhi. Now, in dharana, we have gone through this when we talk about chapter 6. You may remember, we talked about these steps of dharana, dhyan, or samadhi. But when we come to samadhi, there are 3 stages. Savikalpa samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, and then that is called sahaja samadhi. When it is sahaja samadhi, in that stage, this immediate, without anything, it spontaneously one gets into sahaja samadhi. This is what Swarupa Bodha, the sahaja which Sant Tulsidas talks about here. इन्होंने घाघर में सागर भर दिया है। इस चौपाई में घाघर में सागर भरा हुआ है। मम दर्शन से ही हो जाता है। एंड गुरुदेव कहते क्या है, जीवत्व को छोड़कर ईश्वरत्व की प्राप्ति हो जाती है। तो जब उस स्टेज में आप आ जाते हो तो दर्शन, भगवान का दर्शन होता है। ज्ञातुम द्रष्टुम च तत्वेन प्रवेष्टुम च परम तप। जीवत्व को छोड़कर ईश्वरत्व की प्राप्ति हो जाती है, जैसा गुरुदेव कहते हैं। Now, when we talk of this sahaja swarupa, highest level of devotion, this comes in, when we talk of this result, I am talking about this part, mama darshana phala. When you have the grace of Paramatma, grace of Bhagwan due to your bhakti, then you get his divine grace. What happens? That is beautifully given in verses 10 and 11 of chapter 10. I have gone through this before. I keep on doing it repeatedly, that this is what must be fully understood by each one of us. अगर भगवान का आपने भजन किया, भगवान का आपने ध्यान किया, भगवान की आपने भक्ति की, और सारे जो भक्ति लक्षण बाद में आएंगे आप में आ गया, तेषाम सतत युक्तानाम भजताम प्रीति पूर्वकम, ये आप करते हो। भगवान क्या करते हैं, ददामि बुद्धि योगम तम येन मामुपयान्ति में, मुझे प्राप्त करोगे, मैं तुम्हें दूंगा। आप मुझे भक्ति दो, सततम भक्ति दो, लगातार परसिस्टेंट भक्ति दो, मैं आपको बुद्धि दूंगा। उस बुद्धि से क्या करोगे, माम उपयांत, यू गेन मी, यू गेट टू मी। और तब क्या होगा, तेषामेवानुकम्पार्थम् अहम् अज्ञानजं तमः नाशयाम्यात्मभावस्थो ज्ञान दीपेन भास्वता। वो जीव तुम्हारे अंदर जो है, दैट जीव जीवात्मा परमात्मा बन जाएगा, ज्ञान दीप भास्वत हो जाएगा। मैं वो प्रकाश दूंगा, मेरी अनुकंपा से अज्ञान मिट जाएगा। अज्ञान will go away. There will be no more ignorance. That ignorance will transform into the effulgence. Effulgence of what? Effulgence of Paramatma. You will get enlightened. That is the result of that Parabhakti. That Parabhakti will give you the supreme knowledge. Through that knowledge, you will get one with Brahma. Now, why I am telling all these things? You will find that when Arjuna has asked the question about who is the Yoga Vittama, coming back to again that same verse 1, what was the essence behind that question? We know that he wanted to, दो तरह के भक्त हैं, there are two groups of bhaktas. एक मैनिफेस्ट को पूछते हैं, एक अनमैनिफेस्ट को पूछते हैं, दोनों में से कौन योग वित्तमा है? Divine souls, please realize this Arjuna is not Arjuna of chapter 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. This Arjuna has learned about Vibhuti. All the Vibhutis of Bhagavan he has learned in chapter 10. And he has darshan, mama darshan, फल उसको मिल गया है, भगवान का दर्शन उसको हो गया है. In chapter 11 he has seen Bhagavan. When he has seen Bhagavan and he heard Yatum drashtum cha tattvena praveshtum cha param tapa, he has a question. How can attain that samadhi, Sahaja Samadhi, which I have been talking about so far? That Parabhakti he is talking about. He is talking about that means through which he can be one with Paramatma. That spiritual absorption where he doesn't exist. He becomes one with Brahma. His realization of Brahma so that he is one with that, that is the question. He wants to follow that path through which he becomes, he gains Parabhakti, through which he gains that spiritual absorption, that so that he become one with that. He is begging Bhagavan to tell that, and that Bhagavan will tell us when he talks about bhakti in verse from 6 to 11. We'll come that later on. But let me take you through that situation which I was talking to you last week. Please permit me and forgive me if I'm taking too much time going through Ramayana. But you know, भक्त और भगवान और भक्त की बात आती है तो संत तुलसीदास बहुत सूरदास और तुलसीदास बहुत हाईएस्ट लेवल पर आते हैं. इतनी महीन सिंपल वर्ड्स में, अवधि में एवरीबॉडी कैन अंडरस्टैंड, बट तो उसमें रस भरा हुआ है. आप इसमें देखें, यू नो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. भगवान राम Bhagavan Sita was eloped by Ravana, and he is running from one place to another. Somebody should tell him where Ma Sita has gone, where my Sita has gone. He is talking to trees and plants and here, everybody, anybody. And in that process, he reached Sabari. He went to the ashram of Sabari, and there what happens, we talked about that. Now, Bhagavan, after talking to Sabari, that was the verse 34 of Aranyakand 35, verse 4. There he says, Soi atisay priya bhavini more, sakala prakara bhagati dritore, jogi brinda durlabhagati soi, सो कहूं आज सुलभ भई सोई. Bhagwan is telling to Sabari, Ma Sabari, that I have told you about 9 kind of bhakti, and I see that those who have found it very, very difficult to have my darshan, now it has become sulabh for you, and in you all the qualities of bhakta are there. And then the following chaupai is that what we talked about, mama darshan phala paramanupa, jiva pavani sarasapupa. But what happens after Bhagavan gives this such a high level of upadesh? He says, जनक सुता कई सुधी भामिनी, मेरी जनक सुता कहाँ गई तुम बताओ. जान ही कहूं कभी बर गामिनी, हमारे सीता कहाँ. वो भगवान राम सबरी से पूछते हैं कि तुमने मेरी सीता को देखा है, कहाँ गई तुम बताओ. और सबरी कहती है, हाँ मैं बताऊंगी. क्या बात है? पंपा सरही जाहु रघुराई. आप जाए, कहां जाए? एक पंपा तालाब है, सरोवर है, देयर इज ए पंपा. नहीं चाहे सुग्रीव मिताई, वहां आपकी सुग्रीव से मिताई होगी, सुग्रीव से मित्रता होगी. ये कौन कहती है? सबरी, जो कहती है कि मैं तो कुछ नहीं जानती हूं, मुझे तो कुछ पता नहीं है. अब उसको ज्ञान हो गया. उस भगवान ने जो उसे ज्ञान दिया, उस ज्ञान से उसको ज्ञान की दृष्टि हुई. उस ज्ञान दृष्टि से वो सबरी भगवान से कह रही है कि आप वहां जाओ, सुग्रीव से आपकी मित्रता होगी. अब फिर सबरी कहती है कि अरे मैं क्या कर दिया? सो सब कहीं देव रघुबीरा, जानत हूं पूछहूं मत धीरा. अरे आप तो भगवान हो, आप अंतर्जामी हो, सब कुछ आप जानते हो, फिर मुझसे पूछ रहे हो. और मैं मतधी, मैं कैसे हूं आपसे बता रही हूं. लेकिन ये तो भगवान की कृपा है, भगवान की दया है. भक्तों पर दया करने के लिए वो ऐसा ही अपना रूप दिखाते हैं. उनका वो तो मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम राम है, तो अपनी मर्यादा को रखने के लिए, कल्याण के लिए, भक्तों के कल्याण के लिए तरह तरह का रूप धारण करते हैं. तरह तरह का he forms ways and means to bless the devotees who are destined to get some devotional touch from Bhagavan and get released from it. You know what happened to Sabari? अपने आप उनको एक ज्वाला आई और भस्म हो गई. She got completely absorbed into Bhagavan. She lost herself through fire of her तेज in her. अनूप जोड़ा गाते हैं, कभी कभी भगवान कोई भक्तों से काम परे. सो जाना था गंगा पार, उसे केवट की नाव चढ़े. सो केवट को उधारा. जनक सुता को खोजते खोजते कितने को सुधारा है, आप सब जानते हैं. दिस इज दी नवधा भक्ति. एंड थ्रू नवधा भक्ति Sabri was enlightened, she got enlightened. Through she got para bhakti in her. Now, then chapter 12 goes on to the 6 and 7 verse. These two verses should be read together. And these two verses, Bhagavan starts to deliver the real process of bhakti. Bhakti का जो साधन है, भक्ति का जो साधना है, how to practice bhakti, Bhagavan starts to give to Arjuna and through him to all of us in these two verses, and then go beyond. These two verses should be taken together, and when we go through these verses, you will get the initial step, and then Bhagavan goes on to talk about further steps, one after another, which culminates in verse 11, and then verse 12, he gives the conclusion of all these verses, and then it goes on to from 13 to 19, we will talk of all these various guna qualities which bhakta should have. I think my time is up. I think I will take this up again next week, hopefully. Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.